So I'm Larry Lieberman, and I focus on our developer platform and talking to folks about how to build apps and games for Windows Phone.
And I'm Casey McGee with Windows Phone Marketing, and I work with Larry and his team to help get the story out about the developer opportunity and the great apps and games on Windows Phone.
GDC is huge for us this year. With Windows Phone 8 last year unveiling, we added support for native C, C++ development with DirectX. Very similar approach to that to build games for Windows. And so a lot of developers today are building applications and games for Windows and Windows Phone, leveraging a lot of the same code. Also today, however, our partners such as Unity have announced middleware support for Windows Phone, and this is gigantic. Unity tells us that about half of all mobile games today are built using their tools. So it was very important for us. Our adding support for native C, C++ unblocked the middleware providers to deliver their offerings, and we want to make it as easy as possible for developers to bring their games to Windows Phone.
If a developer wanted to use Unity to port their game to Windows Phone right now, can they already start doing that?
The plugin's available today on the website. For existing Unity subscribers, they can go download this component and add it and then target Windows Phone.
Are there still some middleware partners that you're negotiating with? Is there anybody? Can we expect future announcements?
Well, we've announced quite a few different ones. The three that we're highlighting at this event are Unity, Marmalade, and Havoc. Marmalade's announced a new release. They had previously released a beta of their offering, and they've just released a second beta, which is available for download on their site. On our blog, we've got a link to that. And the other one's Havoc. Havoc hasn't announced a title yet, but they did talk about a lot of what they've been doing, and we've got some technology demos that implement the Havoc engine on the phone that we've been showing as well. We've also unblocked a lot of the hardware manufacturers as well because we've got support for Bluetooth. Moga, the Moga controller from BDA, fantastic experience. I don't know if you've seen this controller. It looks just like an Xbox controller, so I love it. And you just plug the phone right in, and we were showing Driftmania 2 using the Moga controller up at our booth.
How much extra effort do you know is it to get Moga support into a game?
It's actually really shockingly easy. They're going to have an SDK, and you'll simply drop the component in your project, and then you'll be able to rewire up a few of the input components, and then you'll be able to actually leverage it just very, very easily. Replace the thumbsticks, for example, the virtual thumbsticks with the controller. If you look at the Moga game, you'll get an idea for it just right away exactly what's going on.
And can we expect Xbox Live titles to support Moga eventually as well?
Nothing to announce today, but obviously we're working with everyone we can to try to drive alignment across all the offerings. So
it's not out of the question, right?
Absolutely not.
You know, the important thing, excuse me, the important thing, as Larry said, is, we're down here talking to developers about the opportunity, with Windows Phone. We've been talking to developers for a number of years. We really feel like this is an important milestone. Having the middleware partners on board really makes a compelling reason to join Windows Phone. We have talked about the fact that we're seeing an increase in sales and 4 times as many devices sold, year over year.
91% increase in revenue.
91% increase in revenue, 75% increase in downloads. We really feel like the ecosystem has taken off, and it really is creating the opportunity that developers look for. And now is the time to really look at what games and apps look like on Windows Phone and how they can bring their projects over and be part of this ecosystem.
Fling Theory, another exclusive title using the Unity engine. And that was actually a App Campus title. So we have a program called App Campus that we support independent developers with investment.
Yeah, App Campus is really pretty cool. So it is a joint effort between Nokia, Microsoft with Windows Phone, and then Alta University, where we invited a lot of entrepreneurs, devs, to join a program, and as a result, be able to start new businesses, publish apps, and really bring something new to the platform. And that's been wildly successful. There's been, well over 2,000 people applied to be part of the program. There's a pipeline of 120, apps and games, ready to come to Windows Phone, and already I think 7 or 8 have hit the store. So, we are seeing programs, around the world that are generating some new content, and oftentimes exclusive content for Windows phones. I think the biggest things that we've talked about have been around, game momentum and making sure that people have a steady diet of great games and titles. And I think that's why today is so important. by having the middleware guys, by having so much more developer opportunity and lowering that barrier so more and more people can bring their games to Windows Phone. We not only expect to have more games coming more frequently, but you're going to see more games releasing to Windows Phone the same time as other platforms. There's no longer the reason that was there to stagger things, to put things in a prioritized order. We've got developers now telling us that future games will be coming out simultaneously across multiple platforms, including Windows Phone. And so for the gamers out there who are looking for more great titles more frequently, and sort of a rival, parity with other platforms, yeah, we think that's going to happen.
Speaking specifically about Windows Phone 8, is there sort of an average submission approval time for independent games?
We're always working to compress that as much as possible. I think the average time was 5 days, last I checked.
Yeah, we can confirm. I want to say 5 to 7 days in there somewhere.